try to get in here on the chat function with you guys. If you can chat, say hello to me, say hi, what's up. If not, go ahead and comment in the YouTube. I've got Tori monitoring the YouTube channel as well for comments in there. So we'll keep that updated and look in there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off. Hope all my audio volumes are okay for you guys. Chat and let me know if not. Also monitoring Twitter. And tonight we're going to be using hashtag CC webinar. So hashtag CC webinar for everything related tonight. If you have questions, if you guys can't hear me, or if something comes up, just let me know on Twitter at hashtag CC webinar. All right, man, let's go. Let's get this thing rocking. So who is Coach Carroll? For those of you, I know we had 82 plus people registered for tonight's webinar. So a lot of people coming in. Maybe all of you don't know who I am, so allow me to introduce myself. My name is Coach Carroll. I go by DJ Carroll, I guess is my normal name, day-to-day name. I work with companies all the way up to Fortune 500 businesses down to helping even, students. I was in Illinois a few weeks back speaking to a group of students there. And something that's different about me is I actually am a dog rescuer. So Daisy, our puppy that we have, I guess she's not a puppy, she's 4 now, but we rescued her from jail. She was going to have a terrible fate of being put down, so I rescued her like 4 days before that. There's something different out there for everyone tonight. The big thing is hopefully you get to take away a little golden nugget, maybe a couple golden nuggets. And when you find those golden nuggets, make sure you tweet them to me. That way I can retweet them out, and people may pick up some things, people may miss things. So I want to make sure that everyone has a great time tonight, walks away with a lot of information, and you get some golden nuggets. Chronic entrepreneur, I've bought, sold, or started over a dozen businesses. In my first business, I grew 4,000% in 5 years, and it now services 3 states. On top of that, my true passion is coaching and helping others. So that's what we're doing here tonight. Let's see here. Go to the next screen. Partial client list. So who have I worked with? I don't want you guys to think that I'm just some guy that maybe spent some money on Facebook ads or blasted some groups and got you here. No matter how you stumbled across the webinar, know that you are in for a treat tonight. I've worked with companies such as MetLife, Toyota, State Farm, Cadillac, Edward Jones, and hundreds of small businesses. The information I'm going to cover here tonight is information that I've read, studied about, and also information that I have developed from seeing things in real life or have seen them in my own business. I want you to make the best out of today. We do that by being flexible, having an open mind. This is a no negativity zone, so we're all going to stay positive tonight. We're going to learn a lot of things, and we're going to get a lot of notes taken. So I'm going to give you guys a quick second. If you don't have a pen and paper, if you don't have something to write notes on, you need to be finding that very quickly, because the notes that you're going to have from this will be very valuable. And let's face it, the webinar was absolutely free, so you owe it to yourself to take plenty of notes. We want to make sure that we're sales mature tonight. So, we're going to be covering a lot of stuff here, some things you've probably never done before. So don't necessarily negate those or write them off right away. You have to remember, you don't know what you don't know. Again, throughout the night, make sure you're using hashtag CC webinar. And then my Twitter handle is at DJ_Carroll. We're going in here to talk about cold calling, but let's talk a little bit about results first. I want to show you guys some of my clients that I've worked with. This young gentleman here, Chris Cole, is the pre-owned sales manager at Coal Valley Cadillac. And within 3 months of coaching, we basically increased his efficiency 258%. This guy went from a dealership, and I've actually now been working with him for over 2 years, and we've added over $1 million in sales to the top line of this dealership. This one I just got today. I'll make sure you guys can check this out on my Facebook page if you haven't read John's full thing here. But the most important thing to see is this sales went up $650,000 by hiring me as a coach. But here's what we're really going to talk about. We're really going to talk about cold calling, right? It's all about dialing for dollars tonight. And a word to the wise, I have these at the beginning of all of my webinars, is that cold calls are the single smartest thing you can do to drive revenue. It's time tested and it's proven. Hands down, this is the best thing that you can do to get the sales needle moving in your business right away. Okay. So let's really look at it and figure out, why aren't you making the calls? If I'm telling you that it's the best thing to do and you've heard about it, I mean, it's not something new. I'm not telling you to write blogs or go out there and write social media posts. I'm telling you to do something that's been around since telephones were around. This is a way to drum up business, to fill your pipeline, to ultimately grow the amount of customers that you have, the amount of dollars that you put in the bank. But at the end of the day, why aren't you making the calls? I want to tell you a little story before we get into that. I want to tell you about the Easy Pro story. And the Easy Pro story goes a little something like this. I was supposed to be a chemical engineer all the way through high school, and I know Tori's heard this story about 8 million times. I was supposed to be a chemical engineer all the way through high school. I aced all my classes that I needed to take, and it came senior year, and I decided, hey, you know what? I think I'm just going to mow grass for a living. After several conversations with my parents and several conversations with teachers and friends, I decided that I was going to go out on my own. And when I did this as a high school senior. So as a high school senior, as most of you can imagine, I didn't have a whole lot of money. I didn't have the means necessary. I didn't have a huge family that could support my business and my endeavors to really take off. So I decided I had to figure out a low cost, very efficient way to get in front of customers. And in the day that I found cold calling was the day that changed my business. It truly was. You see, the 10 biggest sales that I have ever made in my business, my startup company, has came from starting out with a cold call. It's one of those things where right now you're having this feared mentality. You're shaking. Maybe you've tried to make some cold calls, but they haven't went really well. Maybe you've made some cold calls and you've hung up. There's a video on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, that actually has a guy hanging up on me. I'm making a cold call. I'm recording myself, and the guy's actually hangs up on me while I'm trying to pitch him. Maybe that's what you're afraid of. Maybe you're afraid to get hung up on. Maybe you're afraid of the word no. We're going to talk about all those fears here shortly, but the day I found cold calling was really the day that my business changed, because I had an effective way to set in my office. I didn't have to drive all over the place. I didn't have to go knock on doors. I didn't have to try to beat down mailboxes with thousands and thousands of postcards hoping someone would call me. And, all the time, and I see it, business owners will say, man, the phone's really slow this week, or, I wish I could figure out something to make the phone start ringing. And the question that I have for you is, are you a victim or are you a hunter? Do you wait for the phone to start ringing, or do you go out there and make your customer's phone start ringing? Because, I made a decision that I wasn't going to sit back and wait for things to happen. I come from a small town, and the problem is, in a small town, business is normally done like that. You see the people, there's not a big push. There's not a big rush. I'm out of Kentucky. It's not like my friends in New York or LA or Miami where business is booming. It's fast paced. So I knew that if I just wanted to sit back and wait and take whatever came through my front door, one, I was going to starve, or two, I was going to run out of money before I could really get the business off the ground to start actually making me some cash. So I want you guys to understand that cold calling was the way that I got my business started. I started with $300. So I didn't even have a credit card to put any marketing material on. So I just picked up the phone and I started calling people. I actually started with apartment associations and started calling one apartment after another, one after another, one after another, one after another. And I quickly understood that that it's all about numbers. It's all about the numbers. It's a numbers game. And that's what any of these any of these sales books that you pick off my shelf, if you go to the chapter where the author's talking about cold calling, all of them will agree that it's the numbers game. The problem is they don't have the experience to tell you exactly what the numbers are. So I'm going to give them to you right now. Write this down. 18 to 20 dials per hour. And when I say an hour, I normally only cold call for about 50-minute block of time and give about 10 minutes at the top of the hour. Do the same thing with my coaching sessions so I can kind of get a little bit of a breather. 18 to 20 dials. So that's going to just be dials. It doesn't have to be legitimate conversations. It's 18 to 20 dials. Out of those 18 to 20 dials, you should be able to have 1 to 2 significant conversations with the person on the other end of the line. Now, if you're calling on existing customers, those aren't legitimately cold calls. So you should be having 4 to 6 legitimate conversations coming out of that. Okay. So let's go back over to the slideshow. If you guys have any questions, make sure to put them in the chat. Is anything showing up on your side, Tori? Okay. So we'll try to keep that monitored, and then we'll also keep it monitored on Twitter with hashtag CC webinar. So again, I apologize for the technical difficulties that we had, but we'll try to get this thing moving and get you guys up to pace here pretty fast. Okay, so what's the struggle? Let's get into it. What are you facing right now? The problem is that you don't have enough time, right? You don't have enough time. DJ, it's so busy. I have all these customers I have to tend to. I have all these things going on, these guys that need my attention. Look, I understand. I get it, okay? You're busy. Welcome to being a flipping business owner, guys. Like, that's what it takes. If you want to be successful, you're going to be busy. If you're not busy, you're probably not really making any money. But I'm going to give you the solution to that. How about fearing rejection? But DJ, I don't want to hear them say no. I'm afraid that they're going to hurt my feelings. What if they hang up on me? I got something for that too. How about this? You don't know how. Like, that's a legitimate statement. I've had people tell me, like, DJ, I don't understand the first thing to do as it pertains to cold calling. Like, I don't know how to pick up the phone. I don't know how to start dialing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And we're gonna work on that tonight as well. And then lastly, if you're in the camp where you think it just doesn't work, hopefully I can convince you otherwise in a couple slides here. Because at the end of the day, all of these are basically excuses. That's all it comes down to. The excuses, I've heard them a million times. Not enough time. Hey, here you go. Start time blocking. Pick an hour out of your day to go in and start time blocking. Take 60 minutes, pick up the phone, and dial 18 to 20 times. That's it. That's all it takes really to be successful at cold calling, is doing consecutive activities day in and day out. Like, you think Peyton Manning would be half as good as he is if he only went out and threw passes on Fridays, or if he only threw passes when he thought he had time for it? That you're doing the same thing right now. You're only making cold calls when you're really hurting, like when your business is really slow. The problem with that is when your business gets slow, that's the worst time to try to start cold calling. You have to understand that you need to be cold calling day in and day out. By doing so, your pipeline will stay full and you'll continue to make money. How about fear of rejection? Fear of rejection. Hey, let me tell you, the word no doesn't hurt, right? The word no doesn't hurt. You've got to understand that I've been told no thousands of times. Thousands. I've had people hang up on me hundreds of times, right? You have to understand that it takes massive action to get massive results. So if all you're ever going to do is dial the phone 16 times and then come back and tell me, oh man, DJ, I'm really scared. I'm really afraid because, I cold called for 3 days, and that's normally what I hear. I normally get the guy that calls me and goes, dude, you talk about cold calling all the time, and you're like the phoenix of cold calling. You're resurrecting it from the dead, and how millennials don't cold call anymore. You know what, man? I hate it. I'm going back to blogging. I only just want to write my blogs and send out my email blast. I'm like, okay, well, why do you think cold calling sucks? Well, man, I did it for 4 days, and I didn't land a single deal. You can't give up on it, guys, because all you have invested is time, right? So you have to understand you've got to keep pushing forward. Keep making those cold calls. How about the fact that you don't know what you're doing? You don't know how. There's a question we got a question on Twitter. Uh-oh. What's the question?
Once I get them talking and find out they might need my services, then what do I do?
Once they get, okay. Who's that from?
Nikki McKenna.
The question is, once you get them talking, how do you find out if there's services? Here's the thing with that, and we'll get in that a little bit later on. I don't want to hop too far ahead, but we'll get into that when we talk about the sales ladder. How about this? How about the people that think that it doesn't work? How many of you think cold calling doesn't work? Easy Pro has done over $2 million in sales, so that's why I put this slide in here. I've got 2+ million reasons why cold calling does work, and we're going to talk exactly about that tonight. Okay, all great battles are won with preparation, and I got to ask you a question. When's the last time you practiced? When is the last time that you picked up the phone and practiced? Like, when did you pick up the phone and not dial a number? Think about that. When's the last time you recorded your pitch? I've got a team in coaching right now. They absolutely despise me because I made them record their pitches on YouTube. How about doing it in the mirror? How about pitching to your spouse, friends, or family members? The problem is that you wait to practice until game day. You wait to see if your cold calling machine is engineered properly. Like you do the engineering once you flip the switch on. You can't do that, guys. It doesn't work like that. If it doesn't work in other businesses, why do you think it would work in cold calling? For some reason, that's what people think. So you have whatever you say on your cold call, you have to feel comfortable. And the only way that you feel comfortable is by practicing it. I used to I have a little mirror in my office for the longest time, and I would look in it and I would smile. And you always heard the saying "smile and dial." They would look in that mirror in call centers and they would say "smile" and then make the phone call. Smile and dial. That's where it came from. But I used to take that mirror and I would look at it and I would just talk to myself. I call it crazy office talk sometimes. I know the objections that I'm going to hear. You know the objections in your business. No one knows them better than you because you hear them all the time. So you role play it. Ring, ring, ABC Supply Company. How can I help you? Yes, who am I speaking with? Oh, this is Rick. Rick? Yeah. Hey, it's Coach Carroll. How are you? I'm doing okay. Hey, just real quick, do you have a quick moment? Yeah. Just playing back and forth. Tori probably thinks I'm crazy because I talk to myself all the time anyway, but you have to understand that to practice on game day absolutely is ludicrous. Like, it makes no sense. NFL teams don't do it. Why would you want to do it? Okay. So let's go back to the slide and sorry, I get a little better with these transitions. They're coming along. So we have to understand that we don't practice on game day. We need to practice well ahead of that. So spend some time practicing your pitch. Break down and understand what you need to have for bullet points, and then get you some short scripts put together. Short scripts are going to be like one-liners. They're going to be closings, prods, pokes. What you can do when the person comes back and says, hey, we already have someone. Hey, we use somebody currently. Hey, we're not looking for that service right now. Hey, I'm not the person you need to sell to. Hey, my manager's out of the office. Hey, the manager's on vacation. Oh, the maintenance supervisor needs to handle that, but he's in a different office. These are all things that I hear on a daily basis, and I have a comeback every single time. And it always starts with great, right? Because the key to sales in the very beginning is to agree no matter what it is. It's like, DJ, you absolutely suck. I'll never buy from you ever. I'll say, great. I would definitely reconsider that later on. But right now I can certainly understand that. Now, let me ask you, Elizabeth, when do you guys bid this out? Right? Like, I'm just going to move right on past that. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Secondly, or third here is you want to be focused on the sales ladder. And I'm going to teach you that method tonight, absolutely free. That was the coolest thing about this webinar, is that it doesn't cost you guys anything. I'm basically doing a free one-on-one coaching with you. This is huge. If they smell fear on you, if they smell that you are nervous, anxious, might not know what you're doing, you'll be toast. Professional people, professional buyers, professional call screeners, so secretaries, they can smell that a mile away. And if they smell that on you, you're toasted. Lastly, I want you to get a timer, and it's something that I call the 30-second shot clock. The 30-second shot clock is this. When you're making phone calls, you should never go more than 30 seconds without talking or engaging the prospect, getting them to speak up. So something as simple as sound good, good to go, are we on the right track? Do you have any questions? Everything good? Can I move forward? Can I go to the next slide? Those are things that you want to know. We got another question? Okay.
What time do you make calls? Is it the same time every day?
Okay, we got that coming up a little later as well. So I'm going to get to all these questions. We might just save all these to the end. We'll do like a Q&A. Okay, so we want to put this shot clock, and if you have an iPhone, basically you have a timer on there already. Is there more? I'm getting comments. Are they showing up on YouTube? Maybe hit refresh. I don't know. Get a timer. Sorry, guys. We're still trying to work out. I don't want to miss anybody's comments or questions. They're showing up now. Okay. So what's going to happen is you want to get a timer. We want to put a 30-second shot clock up. So, Rick, this is a great service, yada, 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 yada. Sound good. Boom, reset. I call it a cold calling violation when anyone speaks longer than 30 seconds without prodding or engaging the prospect. Okay, so write that down. Never go more than 30 seconds. Okay. The next thing is you have to understand the game. So you have to understand any sport before you can play it, right? And most importantly, you have to understand that cold calling, it's not about the calls. It's not really about how many calls you make, and that's what everyone gets so hung up on. You see, the majority of people, they say, man, I made 36 calls in 2.5 hours, and I only got 2 appointments out of it. Okay, good job. 2 appointments. Let's keep rocking and rolling. You see, emotions really in business are bad. And even good emotions and negative emotions. So positive and negative emotions. See, the negative emotions weigh you down when you look at 36 calls and say, man, I didn't book any appointments, or I only booked 2 appointments. The positive emotions weigh you down when you say, I booked an appointment, or I booked 2 appointments. You want to run through the office and tell everybody about it. It's like, great, get back to work, right? So you have to understand that your emotions can hinder your ability. But the most important thing to remember is that it's not about the calls, it's about the significant calls. Also understand that it's a game. Like, we're having fun, guys. Would you rather be stressing about your bills or doing something about them? That's the way I always look at cold calling. It's not painful to hear the word no or be rejected, because I know deep down inside that my activities are moving my company forward. The other thing is you've got to get rid of all your preconceived notions of cold calling. And that means checking your ego at the door. Make it fun, guys. And, one of the big things with cold calling is, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you're going to get hung up on. But here's something really, really cool that you can do to kind of get you over that edge. When I make a cold call, oops, dropped my charger. When I make a cold call and someone hangs up on me, I instantly dial their number back up, right? So they're like, hey, I'm not interested, blah, blah, blah. Click. They hang up on me mid-sentence. I dial their number back, and I'm like, hey, yeah, Josh, it's DJ. I guess we got disconnected. And normally they'll hang up on you again. But it's one of those things where, you know, if you're going to hang up on me, I'm at least going to have a little bit of fun out of it so that I can continue to make my calls and not be miserable, where most people just go over in the corner and pout. You've got to have sales edge. So you got to be edgy about everything that you're doing on the call. I always say that you want to sound like the attorney, and it's all we'll get into tonality and the power of a message here in a second. But you have to understand that when you call, you want that gatekeeper to patch you through so fast because they think that you're more important than the prospect you're calling on, right? You don't want to be that timid person that goes, yes, hi, this is Eric from Inland Power Wash. Yeah, I was just calling to speak to the property manager. Would they happen to be available? Like, dude, come on. You're never getting through to a property manager sounding like that. Use a speakerphone or a headset, and then take electronic notes. I cannot tell you how important it is to take notes while you're on the call. Don't just sit there. How about this? You got to know the objective. Like, why are you picking up the phone in the first place? What is the purpose of making this cold call? And that's one of those things to where, imagine being a football player and running onto the field, or being a basketball player or a baseball player, any sport really, and running out onto the field or onto the court and not know what position you're playing, right? Like, think about that. If you're a wide receiver and all of a sudden you wind up on the line because you don't know what you're doing and they snap the ball and you take off down the field, one, it's going to be a penalty, but two, you know, your quarterback's going to get sacked. You have to know your objective. And there are 3 objectives when it comes to cold calling. I want you guys to write these down. 3 objectives. Number 1 is an appointment for a full presentation. Objective number 1 would be to set an appointment for a full presentation. So all my guys that clean windows, all my lawn care guys, landscaping, power washing, roof cleaning, contracting businesses, plumbing, HVAC, any of you that are listening that have to do on-site bids or on-site quotes, you have to go out and meet someone. This is going to be you. So hopefully this aha moment just happened right now, and you just realize you've been doing this wrong the whole time because you've been trying to sell over the phone. Look, they're not buying your power washing services right now when you pick up the phone and call them. All I need you to sell is an appointment to come out and meet them and give them a free consultation based on their needs and challenges. That's it. How much easier is that to sell? Would you rather try to sell a $20,000 project over the job, because that's what you try to do? You try to go in and elaborate, and you know, when you're cold calling, you're trying to make them buy right then. Or would you just say, look, can you give me 15 minutes of your time? I promise you the 15 minutes is a lot easier of a sell, and that's why my closing rate on cold calls is so high. Number 2 is the now call, which is a short discussion that leads to a future full presentation, okay? So this is what's going to happen if you call, and for those of you that have had my personality style training, if you call a talker personality, this is someone that enjoys being on the phone. If you call them, they basically are going to be very talkative. They're going to be open to conversation. So you're going to be able to pitch them a little bit. You're going to have a short discussion before you go in to set that appointment to have a full presentation. Number 3 are my phone assassins. These are the people that do sell over the phone. So my coaching programs, when I call, these are the people that really, I mean, this is the powerful stuff. What are you laughing about? Are we getting another good tweet over there? Oh, okay. Okay. So, you know, these are the full presentations. These are really need to be left to the most skilled professionals when it comes to cold calling. But the good news is I think I got a lot of power washing, a lot of lawn care guys on here, service-based businesses, that, you know, this first one is where you're going to be at. Even, you know, and here's the thing, even car sales. I know I had a couple people sign up from an auto dealer. You know, car sales, this first one is so important. If you work in car sales, let me tell you something. If you work in car sales and you're watching this, what I want you to do tomorrow is I want you to walk in. First, you're going to be way more prepared. So you're going to tell your manager, say, look, I sat through an awesome, freaking just amazing cold calling webinar last night with Coach Carroll. And he's going to be like, who's Coach Carroll? I'm like, I'll tell you later. but I need you to pull an orphan owner list from anybody that bought cars from us 5 years ago. I need that full list. And I don't want you to take a single person that walks on the lot tomorrow. I want you to work that entire list, okay? You'll set up appointments and people will call, and all you've got to do is just call it and say, hey, this is, whatever your name is with whatever dealership. I noticed you purchased a car from us about 5 years ago. I wanted to see if you could come in. I'd love to sit down, show you your current inventory, see if there's possibly a trade-in opportunity here. We're running low on stock. We need to buy some more used vehicles, right? So you can do that and start making things happen. When I walk into a dealership, this is what's happened 99% of the time. Oh, man, sure is slow today. Sure is slow today. Sure wish somebody would walk on the lot, right? It's that same mentality of having someone, come out and say, hey, I want my phone to ring versus I'm going to go make somebody's phone ring today. That's what you have to understand. Okay. Sorry. Debrief. Man, sorry, man. This is going a lot longer than 8:15. What? Okay. So you guys enjoying this? Give me a little shout on Twitter or comment in the comment box here on YouTube. Just let me know if you guys are with me still. And then also put your questions. As you have questions that come along, I'm going to get to all these at the end when we do the Q&A. All right. Here it is. You have to be the voice, okay? You have to be this powerful voice that comes over the megaphone and really blows them away. And here's the most important thing that you probably don't understand is that 55% of your message comes from body language, right? All of this, let me just switch back over here. All of this body language, when I'm talking to you now, I'm moving around, I'm up, my hands are moving. A lot of times I stand up when I'm on the phone. This is why headset's really good. Use that body language because people can feel that. So when you're going like this, they feel that through the phone that you're really trying to connect or push something over to them. That stuff matters. 55% of your message is body language. 38% is tonality. This is going to be pitch, pace, articulation. This is how fast you speak, how well you articulate, what you're saying. Because, if I'm really excited about a great deal and I'm speaking with a lot of urgency, it's going to be really fast, but then I'm going to slow it down when I really want to impact you. The same thing works on the phone. You have to understand that communication is key, and only 7% of how you communicate has to do with words. It's really words really don't matter. It's all about the tonality, because guess what? If I look at you and I'm like, I love you, you don't understand. That doesn't really scream emotion of like love and affection. Like if I looked at Tori and said, I love you like that all the time, she probably wouldn't believe me. You have to be compassionate. You have to use the same thing when you're communicating your message. Okay. Somebody take a screenshot of this or take a picture of it and put it on Twitter for me. And let's see, what we're going to send them, babe. I'm going to send somebody something free. Send you a free water bottle. Okay. Right here. Coach Carroll, dominate. Nothing else matters. Got to stay hydrated. So I'm going to put this back up here. Let's see. And I want you guys to take a picture of it and either post it on Facebook or post it on Twitter, Facebook or Twitter with hashtag CC webinar. And I'm going to pick one of you guys at random. I'm going to send you a free water bottle. Dropping all kinds of goodies tonight, man. Hope you guys are strapped in. We ain't even halfway through with this thing. I'm only on 20 of 45. All right, guys. So let's talk about it. I'd like to know how many of you read the book that I sent out that you got when you signed up. I really wish I could see my messages on here so that I could chat with you guys, but it's just not working. I don't know. I just would like to have a little Q&A session with them. But, how many of you guys read the book? Because in the book, I come up with this method called the sales ladder. And when I was looking at writing the book, the ebook on phenomenal phone calls, I really kind of asked myself, I'm like, man, I've got to come up with a system and a process. Like, what's the most simplest way that I can create for people to understand that? So that's what I did. I came up with the sales ladder. And it's not only just for phone sales, really, it's any type of sales it's important in. But phone sales are the most important. And if you didn't read the book, shame on you. Here it is. Okay, so let me break this down for you. You got the phone at the bottom. It's really hard to understand. Sales ladder. You got a ladder in the middle that says sales ladder, and you got the money at the top. So it doesn't take a genius to understand that. You pick up the phone, you climb up the ladder, and you grab the money at the top. I crack myself up. I'm hilarious. Information gathering. Information gathering is on the left. Creating relationships is on the right. And I really wish I could do a picture-in-picture here. I need to hire somebody to help me with these webinars. So this is the ladder, okay? And the whole idea behind this is that the rungs on the ladder are your objection. Leaning the ladder to the left would be information gathering. Leaning the ladder to the right would be creating a relationship. Okay, so in sales, everything can be broken down into two columns: information gathering, creating relationships. So it's as simple as this. How much does it cost? Information gathering. How long have you been doing this? Creating a relationship. When's the first availability on your schedule? Sound like Barack Obama there, didn't I? When's the first availability? Information gathering. When's the first availability on your schedule? Is information gathering. Let's see. Another thing with creating a relationship. How long has your business been around? Are you with the Better Business Bureau? Are you certified? You know, all of these things are creating a relationship because they want to make sure that they understand that, you know, someone is going to be reputable and that they can use over and over and over again. Information gathering is going to be statistics, things that move them closer to a buying question. The important thing to understand here is that as people gather information and as they are creating relationship with you, not to stray too far off path. So what a typical sales would look like is that the ladder would flow a little bit to the left. We'd get it back on center. It'd go a little bit to the right. We'd get it back on center. Maybe it goes back to the right again. We get it back on center, and we've overcome 4 or 5 objections. They're good to go. They close the deal. But here's how you can steer them along. Information gathering. Who's the decision maker, right? Because ideally, you can't just open up and say, hey, I'd like to come out next Tuesday and give you a quote. See you then, and hang up the phone. Like, you have to have some conversation dialogue. So, hey, who's the decision maker? And there's a million ways to word that. I talk about that some in my advanced training. Is there a need? And I put this little star next to this because you have to understand that not every person you call has a need for your service. Now, by no means am I telling you that that it's okay to get out of a call early because of that. You have to understand that there's a need within people, but you can't always get that out, or it may not always be the right time. So don't be so beat up because you make 20 calls and maybe you didn't set 2 appointments. You got to make another 20 calls and maybe you only set 2 or 3. Who are they using? When do they hire? What's their budget? When could you meet? You know, these are, again, I put another asterisk here because sometimes you guys sell straight over the phone. You're never going to meet in person. How about creating relationships? And if you got, again, guys, if you have questions, just comment on the YouTube video here or tweet me out or, you know, you can even Facebook message me afterwards. But we're using hashtag CC webinar for those that are hopping on late. I know there's still some people coming on here. Relationship building, history of your company. And, you know, this is the history of the company that you're calling on, right? You don't want to do a whole lot of research because it's going to negate the fact that we're trying to be efficient in our calls. Who's the boss? Owner's story. And I highlighted this one in green because I was doing some cold calling this week, or actually, I'm sorry, it was Friday. And I got a district manager on the phone for a decent sized company. I've got like 500 locations. And I actually asked the guy, I'm like, well, you know, who's the owner? And he gave me his name. I was like, well, I don't know him. You know, is there anything special or unique I need to know? This guy goes on to this long story about this owner and like how he used to play in the NBA and on and on and on. But it was great relationship building, relationship creating information. But then I had to make sure that I got him back on course and got the call to a place of closing. Okay. The person on the phone story, you know, I asked that guy. And then here's another thing I call it a down the chain is I ask about the guy below him. So if you're calling a regional manager, hey, what about the area maintenance director? You know, what's his role in the business? That's something that you can use to get in there. Let's see here. Awesome. And Nikki McKenna said she read the ebook as soon as she got it. That's awesome. All right. So Nikki, you probably have seen some of this, but this is going to help you out explaining it a little better in detail like this. So that's awesome. Congratulations. All right. So after we understand that we're gathering information, the client's gathering information, we're creating a relationship, the client's creating a relationship. We have to understand that now there's rungs on the ladder that we've got to climb. Sometimes there's 6, sometimes there's 20, sometimes there's only 3. And it's going to start up. Sometimes you have to understand that there are multiple rungs that you have to go past. Different strokes for different folks, so to speak. It's one of those things where if you expect only have to overcome 3 objectives, 3 objections, then you also have to understand that some people may require more than that. Know this, 99% of all objections are complaints. The other 1% of the time is the time delay. So when people say, oh, the price is too high, okay, do it anyways. Oh, I'm over budget. Hey, everybody's over budget. Let's do this anyways. Oh, we already have someone. Great. We could compliment them perfectly. When's the last time you checked their pricing against other people? Oh, the boss isn't here. No problem. When will he be back? Hey, look, TJ, I'm really not interested. Not interested in what? Growing your business? Adding more money to your bank account? Now, come on. That doesn't sound like good business practices to me, right? I overcome those objections, and I do it with this simple little acronym, AAIA. Acknowledge, agree, ignore, agenda. Write that down, AAIA. Acknowledge, agree, ignore, agenda. DJ, I hate your shoes. I'm never going to buy from you. Great, right? Like I'm acknowledging that. Great. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have wore brown shoes today. I noticed you got black ones on. You probably like black a lot more. I'm going to ignore that now and move on to my agenda. Are we going to do this or what? I need you to sign here and here. Hey, are you going to do this or what? I've got next Tuesday at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. work better or 6 p.m. work better, right? Like I'm going to continue to stay focused on the end goal. And you see what happens is when you get on a cold call and people start pushing on this ladder, right? And they start pushing this ladder over because they're, either giving you BS objections or they're trying to gather too much information, and you just give up and you don't climb to the top. Guess what? You don't get the money at the top. But the sales guy that's been trained by Coach Carroll comes in right behind you, has no problem going up the ladder. Okay. Objections. No one buys a product or service. What? They buy the product's product. So what's your product's product? Think about that one. What? I heard mind blown. I heard minds blowing all over the world right now. What? Think about it, guys. What do my power washing guys, we're the worst at it. Like you go out there and you try to pitch them on your cleaning techniques and how everything's so much different. Look at my equipment, blah, 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 blah. Look, they're not buying power washing equipment, dog. They're buying clean buildings. Sell the clean buildings. Don't sell the power washing equipment. Again, you're pushing your own damn ladder over. At that point, you've got to understand that, and this happens all the time, is that we get so caught up in what's important to us. My good friend Kevin Abrosky, I gave him a little shout out tonight. Hey, shout out to Kevin Abrosky. He's an author, wrote 600 an Hour and the Well Vomit Method. But the guy is always scouting out things. What's that? Slow down. Sorry, I only got one speed, and it's like warp speed. Let's get it. But no, the good thing is, guys, you'll all get this on a replay link, so even the people that couldn't make it, they'll be able to watch it afterwards. But Kevin is always on the lookout for, are you customer centric or are you ego centric? And you have to understand that when we start selling the way we want to be sold, like it might feel great and we might feel really, really comfortable, but then when the person doesn't buy, we're like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened was you didn't sell to the prospect. You sold to yourself. Guess what? You're not buying. The prospect is. Okay. So you have to understand that time in and time out, you have to present to them the product's product. What is the benefit? Sell the benefit, guys. You have to understand that because without it, that's you're probably getting shut down 60% of the time because you're not pitching your product or service right. If you're an auto dealer, look, you're not selling a car. You're selling a means of transportation. You're selling a way to get to little Jimmy's soccer practice this Saturday. You're selling a way to get back and forth to work so that they can provide for their family. Financial advisors, Edward Jones, I'm speaking at their regional sales conference next year. They don't sell investment funds. They sell retiring and not running out of money. They sell planning to put your kid through college, right? Sell the product's product or the service's service. Sell the benefit, guys. All right, get to the close. All right, we talked about gathering information, talked about creating the relationship. Look, close the thing at all costs because without it, nothing really matters, okay? Don't be afraid to get hung up on. Some people go, well, DJ, I didn't want to push him too hard. I was afraid he would have hung up on me. He didn't hang up on you, did he? No. So what's the problem? You didn't push hard enough. That should be the notification that, oh, well, I think I pushed that one a little too hard. He hung up on me. Because here's your other options. If they don't hang up on you and you get off the phone call with them because you didn't set the appointment or you didn't sell the service, you just wasted each other's time. You brought no value to that time that you used with the client. You have to understand that is very, very, very important. You have to be able to bring that value to the close, right? And get your time on that call to make it happen. Don't be afraid to get hung up on. Understand all the good is in the close. That's where checks get stroked. That's where meetings get set. That's where jobs get sold. That's where new customers come on board. That's where you feed your family. All the good stuff happens in the close. You should want to get there. It's like a matter of life or death, but people just act like it's no big deal. Like it's easy to go out there and spend tons of money on marketing material, but heaven forbid if we were to try to push the close. I don't want to be a pushy salesperson. Fine. Good luck being a broke salesperson because that's your only other option. If you guys have questions, make sure you tweet me. #CC webinar. Tori's over here taking a Snapchat. Here, take a regular picture, and we'll post that on Twitter as well for you guys. Okay. All right, guys. So what do you do when you score, right? What do? Do we call a timeout? Do we empty out the office? Do we celebrate for the rest of the day? No, we don't. We have to get back in there. Emotions aren't your friend when it comes to cold calling. But when you do score, I want you to send out an instant mail piece. I like sending out the success book. It's a small little quote book. I don't think I have one with me, actually. It's a small little quote book. It's about the size of a composition notebook. And it's just got some quotes in it. It's a nice touch. It's actually how I booked the Edward Jones seminar. It was a referral. I hadn't touched base with the guy yet. I sent him my schedule and what my fee would be, and I told him I could do the event. We hadn't even talked. I send out the success book in the mail, and I get an email from his assistant about 3 days later, enough time for that book to get there to create that positive first impression. And now all of a sudden I get an email that says, hey, we'd love to have you. Can you send us a contract? I didn't even have to sell that. That was like pricing. Send them the book. It's like, holy cow, this guy's got his stuff together. Boom, there you go. All right. It's all about being unique, guys, and finding out what works for you. I love doing the staggered mail pieces. Anybody that's been following me for a while, I do a ton of mailings in like green envelopes, pink envelopes, blue envelopes, yellow, orange, black, every color underneath the sun except for white. I'm racist. I don't use white envelopes. So I want you to understand that when you make that appointment, you set that appointment, instantly send them a mail piece so that you stay fresh on the top of their mind and be unique. And then when you do make that call, don't get all excited about it. Don't shut the office down for the rest of the day. Don't go out and celebrate. Look, all you've got is the appointment. Let's get back to work. We got work to do. Okay, if you guys have any questions, again, make sure you tweet me so I can get those all out there, or message them to me on Facebook if you guys have found me there, or even shoot them to me in an email. I'll put my email up here at the end. Okay, so that was the sales ladder. So right now we're 2/3 of the way through, and we basically have covered why we need to overcome our fears. We've covered what your fears are, and now I've just covered how to use the sales ladder to stay on point. This last thing is all about keeping your pipeline full. And when I was titling this slide, I was like, what am I going to call this? And I decided to call it's called a pipeline for a reason. It's not called a cup. It's not called a bowl. It's not called a bucket or a tub, although some of you treat it that way. The whole idea behind a pipeline is that no matter the size, it keeps flowing. You have to continually have things moving through this. And that's why people that hate cold calling are normally the same people that wait until their business is slow to pick up the phone and start dialing, right? So I had this client a while back, and he was having some issues, and we come to realize that he was falling in love. He was falling in love with his prospects, and he didn't want to let them go. The problem with falling in love with prospects is you can only handle so many of them at one time. So that's where I come up with the analogy. Do you have a cup? Do you have a sales bowl? Maybe you have a sales bucket, good for you, or a sales tub even. The problem with that is we've got to fill it up and then slowly drain it down until it's completely empty. And then we go and fill it back up again. This calls cyclical business cycles. They're up and they're down. They're up and they're down. How many of you guys have that right now? I know you're feeling that. You have a great month and you have a terrible month. You have a great month, you have a terrible month. The problem is the activities you do in the terrible month are what causes the great month. And for some reason, we don't see that. We get so stressed out, and that's what causes us to move and to change our activities. Excuse me. But that is what it takes to keep your business firing on all cylinders every single day. No excuses. I'm tired. It doesn't matter. Get up. You've got to make your phone calls. Do it day in and day out, guys. Again, remember the football analogy. No great star was ever came about by only throwing the ball in the days he really felt like it. You fix it. You got loan payments that are late. You fix it. You got, school sports are expensive. You've got kids. Maybe you need a new car. You can't afford marketing. Maybe you want to go on a vacation. Maybe you want to grow your business. Look, you are in charge of you. Stop playing the victim and start playing the hunter. I want you to have OxyClean, ShamWow, Billy Mays energy every single day. You've got to be willing to bring it. Because the day that you don't bring it is the day your competition does, and that's the day they sell more than you do. Like, that should bother you deep down inside. Like, I hate losing jobs. It really does. It bothers me. I hate not making a sale, even though I know it's part of it. But you have to understand that you've got to have this power and this energy and this fire that's deep down inside of you, this want to succeed, right? Eric Thomas says, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. It couldn't be more true, guys. You have to be able to wake up with this. And look, I don't have good days every single day. Like, I have days where I'm like, God, I hate the world. I've had months where I'm like that, but I pick myself up and I make sure I do the actions I need. I'll be honest with you. Easy Pro's kind of slow right now. I made some bad business decisions a few months ago. I tried some new things out, and luckily I was able to catch those and correct them. But I've been on the phone for about 3.5 weeks solid now. I'm back in there and I'm dialing every single day. I'd handed that off to someone else. Now I'm back in there and dialing. I'm making things happen. And we're probably going to have the best third quarter that we've ever had in the history of the business. And it's because I'm doing more of the correct actions more times on a more regular basis. So I want you guys to not only learn from everything that's great that's happened to me, but I want you guys to learn from the bad things that happened to me. You've got to keep going. So I want you to tweet it out. What will you fix? What is it? Maybe it's a vacation, but right now I want you to tweet me, #CCWebinar. What is it that you'll fix? Maybe the car's busted, broken down. Maybe you got to fix something. Maybe there's something going on in your life right now. Maybe your bills are behind a little bit. you got to stop being that victim, and you've got to fix it. Okay. So tweet it out right now. What are you going to fix? What is it? I'll read some of those out and I'll retweet you guys later on tonight. All right. Let's talk a little bit about scripts, because I know we're getting late here. I've got to start wrapping this thing up. I don't have time to go into scripts tonight. And man, look, there's cold calling. There is so much information to it that I just couldn't fit into this free 45-minute segment here. But scripts matter. Scripts are really important, right? They keep you focused until you have it memorized, because look, you guys are fresh. You're new. You're starting out. You don't have everything memorized, right? And I'll be honest with you, I still put a script in front of myself when I call, because I want to make sure that I can stay on point. The right script, when you have it written up, makes you avoid the traps, right? The traps that you don't get yourself into a corner. You want to make sure that when you're dialing, that you're not asking stupid questions that can get someone out of a call. Like, hey, do you guys need my service? No. Oh, okay. Hey, are you the decision maker? Nope, she's not here. Oh, okay. Right? That retreat should never, you should never put yourself in that position, but two, you should never, ever want to retreat. Okay? You have to understand that having a script in front of you keeps the call moving forward. It keeps it flowing, right? You know that they say this. Okay, well, when I say this and then they say this, I go here. Or if they say this instead, I go to the next one. If you guys look in the book, my script is in the back of there. You can try to mimic off of that and copy some of that stuff. Please use it. But you'll notice in there that it's like, do you currently use anyone for sales training? Or, hey, what's your biggest problem in your business right now? Right? Like I start poking and prodding. It's called open-ended questions. It's what I use with my coaching. I say, hey, what's one thing you would improve or change about the way your business sells to your customers? You can't just say, no, I'm not interested to that. You're going to go, man, gosh, I really wish we could sell more. Wish we could close bigger dollar accounts. You guys have to find that, and you have to work that into your script, because an awesome script will keep you from sounding scripted, but then also you have closes at your disposal, so you can move that over. Hey, look, Rick, if spending $3,000, spending $5,000 on coaching was an issue, if I was absolutely free, would you want to hire me as your sales trainer today and get your business moving forward? Yeah, man, duh. If it was free, then let's take money out of the equation. I'm going to show you John Fife's testimonial. He made $650,000 after spending $5,000 with me. How's that for an ROI? You won't find that in the stock market, right? Like you guys, when you have scripts, you can move fluently like that. And you've got like a playbook to look at. So it's all about being that machine. Bonus tactic deadlines. We'll talk about that a little bit later here. I want to show you guys this, though, before we get too late in this call and people start dropping off. I put a webinar special together for you guys because I knew that I was only going to have about 45 minutes on a free webinar with you guys. But I wanted you guys to understand and have the ability to really take your learning to another level. Okay. So what I've done is in 2 weeks, so this is going to be on the 27th, I've put together a 2-hour webinar. And what we're going to do on this, there's only 25 seats available. We're actually going to have you bring a lead to the webinar. I don't think I've ever seen this done anywhere, but you'll bring a lead to me. We'll send the questionnaire out because I need to know a little bit about your business, but Coach Carroll is going to make the call. Like Coach makes the call on this one. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to dial one of your prospects. I'm going to try to set you an appointment. We're going to do this for all 25 people that are on the webinar. So it's going to be like an hour of cold calling. You guys will get to see me in action, live in action, one-on-one, trying to set these appointments for you guys and overcoming objections. The other thing is we'll go through and take about a half an hour and write the script for you guys. Scripts are just so important and very vital for business, for someone just now starting out. But the cool thing is once you have your script, you can multiply it time and time and time again and hire more people to come in and sell for you and grow your business exponentially. Now, normally 2+ hours with me of one-on-one training and then sitting down and making a cold call for you and then writing out a script, you're talking probably around $900. But because I'm going to do this in a mastermind group setting and because you guys have stuck with me through this, the hassle that we had with the startup, but then all this information the rest of the way through it, it's only going to be, let's see here. Okay. Sorry. Before I tell you the price, I'm going to give you the guarantee. The guarantee is this. If you attend the full session, you make 100 cold calls, and you follow the sales ladder method, and you don't increase your sales in 30 days, I'm going to give you all your money back. And it comes down to a whopping $87. $87, guys, to have a mastermind group with me with 25 other people seeing me do the cold call. I'm going to be doing the dial for you, working through with a script, and all of it will be recorded. It'll be in our classroom setting. What's that? Okay. And so I'll leave this up. We'll go ahead and take some questions right now. Go ahead.
We'll start
it from the bottom.
Okay. So once I get them talking and find out they might need my services, then what do I do?
So you get them talking. Who's that from? All right. So Nikki asked a question. Once she has a couple questions. Good. I love this. So once you get them talking, and you try to find out, what was it again? You get them talking.
Once I get them talking and find out they might need my services, then what do I do?
Perfect. Okay. So what happens is when you get the people talking, like you're through and you've broken that 30-second barrier. Now we're in there and we're starting to talking, and they say, hey, we do need their services. That's what they said. Then what does she do? Then you've got to move to set the appointment. So I'm not sure what Nikki does. Can you look at her Twitter profile? Okay, she's a photographer. Great. So Nikki, if you once you get in there and they do need their services, you have to start asking closing questions. So, what's your timeline look for getting this scheduled? How about we just go ahead and put this on the calendar for next Tuesday? I call it the schedule close. It's one of my favorite closes to use with residential services, like for house washing and stuff, landscaping, all that kind of stuff. I kind of buzz through the price like it's no big deal. And I say, hey, we can get you on the, for $387, we can get this taken care of. How's next Tuesday sound? Boom. Move straight into scheduling them. You want to try to get to that close. So if you feel that they're moving, and don't be afraid to ask them. But hey, do you have enough information right now to go ahead and book this? Book your appointment, book your consultation, whatever it is you may sell. If you're cold calling to be a photographer, I would say that you're wanting to book that meeting to show the work. Here's the way that I would do that, Nikki. I'll give you a free one since you asked some good questions tonight. They answer the phone and they say, hey, how can I help you? Hey, are you interested? You get to that point where you're trying to get them closed on the appointment. Say, look, Rick, at the end of the day, all this is going to take is 15 minutes. And worst case scenario, I come in, I show you some awesome pictures that I've taken. I meet a new person. Maybe we linked up on social media and stay connected. And that's it. I mean, what do you really have to lose from it? Let's get it scheduled for next Tuesday. Boom. Okay. What's the next one?
I love her. Okay, Manny said, what time do you make calls? Is it the same time every day?
Perfect, Manny. So Manny asked about what time do I make calls and do I do them the same time every day? It depends on who I'm calling for. If you are calling on like restaurants, I found that it's really good like 2:30 to 4:30. But here's the other thing. Don't put past calling it in the evenings. For property managers, I would say between 10 and 11 or between like 2 and 4. But if you're calling on referrals, that's the other thing is like I get a lot of guys that'll be like, oh man, I do residential work, so I can't make cold calls. Sure you can. Call your current customers or customers you've done work for and say, hey, you remember me? I was that guy that did an awesome job for you. Can you give me 5 people that I could possibly call that might need our services? And oh, by the way, if any of them hire me, I'll send you $50, for a finder's fee. And boom, there you go. You've got 5 people to call. Guys, this is only, I don't know if I said this before or not, but this webinar is only open to 25 people because that's all I can fit in the room. But you'll be able to hook up your webcam and actually I'll get to see you, we'll interact. It'll actually be like a classroom setting. And, again, it's only $87. Go to coachcarroll.com/deal to sign up. And I'll keep an eye out on anybody that has that coming through. All right, go ahead and hit me with another question there.
How do you respond to the we take care of it ourselves or we already have a guy?
Right. Love that one. No thanks. We already take care of it ourselves, or hey, we already have a guy. All right. We have to go back to this slide right here. Let me see. Hold on a second. Remember this analogy, guys. Acknowledge, agree, ignore agenda. Okay. So they say, hey, DJ, we really appreciate it. We've already got someone to do this. Who's that from?
That is from Absolute Pressure.
Okay, Absolute Pressure Cleaning. So you're talking about power washing, dude. Yeah, so you call a property manager, and property manager says, hey, look, DJ, I really appreciate it, but we already have someone that we contract out, or we already do that ourselves. I say, hey, no problem. I totally understand, and totally, I can see the benefits in that. But, both of us know that a leaky toilet, this is for if they do it in-house, a leaky toilet's going to be a lot more important than cleaning the exterior of your buildings, not to mention the disruption to your tenants. We're way more efficient. We can be in and out of that place in like a week and a half. I can send you a ton of referrals or a ton of testimonials from clients that we've worked with in the past. Hey, look, I'll be in the area next Tuesday. What's it going to hurt? Let me stop by. I'll type you up a quote just so, at least you'll have something on file to compare it with. Boom. Now your foot's in the door. All right, go ahead and hit me another one, baby.
Apology to Nikki. They also own a pressure washing business.
Oh, she got a power washing business too. Gotcha. Nikki's got a power washing business.
So there's 2 questions on YouTube as well. It says, how do you gather the right information?
Okay, so question on YouTube. Who's that from? Inland Power Wash. Inland Pro Wash. Gotcha. All the power washers are in the house tonight. Okay, so how do you gather the right information? The information gathering isn't so much, and he's talking about the sales ladder. It isn't so much on your part as it is you have to look out on their part. They're going to be gathering a lot of information from you. You have to make sure they don't pull that ladder over. A lot of times if you can't, if that objection comes up or they're like, I don't really think I need this, you can kind of divert a little bit and start building a little bit of a relationship with them, or start adding some information. So you can add those in and use those as a tool to kind of divert around that objection. But at the end of the day, we want to keep this call moving forward to try to get to whatever our objective is. So if it's to set up, you remember, write these down if you don't remember them. You know what? No. The 3 objectives. Whoever tweets me the 3 objectives, the first person to tweet me 3 objectives, I'm going to give you a 30-minute Skype session with me. I'm going to do 30 minutes for free with you. I need the 3 objectives. What are the 3 calls that you can make? I'm going to give those out. Go ahead. Give me another one.
Okay.
I'll be here all night.
This is the last question, but then we'll switch to. So what is the #1 book you read that helped you with sales or even cold calls?
The #1 book I read that helped me with sales and cold calls. Cliff Notes. You've got them. I sent them to you. That was what Phenomenal Phone Calls was. All of these books that are behind me, there's tons, man. I've read so many books, watched so many YouTube videos. That's where I really started learning how to sell. But I would say the #1 book you should read is that thing that I sent you, that Phenomenal Phone Calls, because it takes all of the information from all the books that I read and put them in there. Because I haven't ever found a cold calling book that I agree with 100%, and most of them are too long. I don't think that you can do a full book just on cold calling. So that's my answer to that one.
Okay.
Was that the last question?
Well, question, yes, but Nikki also said, give us an example of your pitch.
Give us an example of our pitch. Okay. So you should have that, Nikki, of my pitch. You're getting my pitch right now. I want you to go buy my webinar special. CoachCarroll.com/deal. Make sure you guys go pick that up. I'm only doing 25 people, so it's definitely going to be, that's probably going to be the best $87 you ever spend on your business. Whenever I do my cold calling, whenever I do my cold calls, my pitch comes through, and I normally work right off the script. But if it's for power washing, which I'm guessing you're probably asking me about, I call in. It's very direct. They're very quick because they're not expecting it from a power wash company. So let's see. What time is it? It's 9, 6. It's 6 on the West Coast. I wonder if we can make a call. You guys want to make a cold call? Will you give me the phone, please? They're all dead. Oh man, and I don't have. Yep. You know what? I'm gonna do. You guys can check it out on. You guys can check it out on YouTube. I'll do one on Periscope. I'll do some cold calling. Follow me on Periscope. It's at DJ_Carroll on Periscope. I'll do some live cold calling for you guys tomorrow since I didn't have it set up properly to do it through here. But basically, in essence, for dialing for apartment complexes, when I call in, a lot of times you're going to have like the leasing agents is who's going to answer. I'm going to take this down for a second here. Okay. A lot of times you're going to have the leasing agent is the person that answers. So they'll say something like, thanks for calling Shadow Ridge. This is Ashley. How can I help you? And I'll say, Ashley, right? That power, that punch. Ashley, it's a voice up. Yeah. Like Ashley's like thinking, shit, who's this? My child support attorney? No. But so she'll be like, yeah. And she's like, answer, like she's really glued in and listening now. And I'll say, hey, it's DJ. Do you have a quick moment? Yeah. What's up? Hey, just curious. Are you the person that signs the contracts there? Like, you know, are you the big bad decision maker? Oh no, that ain't me. That ain't me. That's Tara. She's in the back office. That's the property manager. Awesome, great. Go ahead and patch me through to her. Right? Like, boom, power. Okay, what's it about? I'll just go ahead and patch me through. Because the leasing agent does not have the courage to hang up on me. One, they would be like, they're fearful of their job because they don't know who I am. They don't want to hang up on somebody from corporate. So the problem is a lot of times you guys aren't powerful enough with the leasing agent that gets on the phone because you're afraid that she's like going to hang up on you or that she's going to, you know, not let you through. You don't take a place of power. When you do that, boop, you're straight through. So now Tara picks up the phone. She's like, yeah, it's Tara with Shadow Ridge. Hey, Tara, voice up again. She's like, yeah. It's DJ with Easy Pro. You got a second? Yeah. Hey, I'm going to be in the area next week. I wanted to swing by and give you a quote on power washing your buildings. Is Tuesday or Thursday better for you guys there in the office? Like, I'm going for the close. Like, if you don't give me any rungs on the ladder to climb, I'm going straight for the close. Whoa. Who'd you say you're with? I'm with Easy Pro. We work with Hills Properties. I've worked with several of the other managers. Yeah, so would Tuesday or Thursday work better for you to swing by and give you that quote? A lot of times, guys, they'll be like, yeah, Tuesday's fine. Boom, now I'm in the door. Now I showed up with a button down and a jacket on, quoting some power washing work, and like blow their socks off. And a lot of times I get the jobs, I get them at a higher price because they're not actively bidding them out. Like, here's the problem. You guys want to sit around and wait for your phone to ring. Guess what? When they're ringing your phone, they're ringing 6 other people's phone as well, and they're getting a price from everybody. You want to stop bidding on price or competing on price. Start dialing so that you're the only one that's asking for the business. That's my pitch. I mean, it's simple as that. Next one. That's all she wrote. Cool, guys. Hey, I appreciate you. I wonder if we got anybody that's bought this yet. Tweet it out if you've bought it. Look, it's only going to be up for the next 24 hours. And hey, why would you not want to finish out the year strong? It's a money back guarantee, $87. Put it on a credit card. I'll have you by the time you watch the webinar in 2 weeks, and then do some decent cold calling between now and then we'll really set you up, get your script ready to go. I'm going to do a call for you in 2 weeks. You've got another 2 weeks to go out and make cold calls and sales. Look, you'll have the credit card bill paid off before it ever even comes in. It's $87, guys. You can't beat it. It's probably one of the most insane offers I've ever put out there. Go to coachcarroll.com/deal. And don't forget John Fife, $650,000 increase. He was in my full coaching, but you guys will see the exact same results. I mean, he's telling you right here. He says, I'm calling you out. Stop being cowards. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. I'm 39, and I wished to anything I would have done this 10 to 15 years ago. Coach Carroll can put you in contact with me if you need proof that I'm a real person with real results. God bless you, John Fife. You're awesome, dude. $87, coachcarroll.com/deal. You guys need to go check it out. Go grab it. It's up for 24 hours. I'm also going to be sending this thing out. If you guys have any other questions, let's get them out now. Put them in the comment section or hit us up on Twitter. I don't see anything else coming through here. But, hey, this has been, no, good. This has been awesome. I know we went over. God, how long did we go? Congratulations, Nikki McKenna, CC webinar. Appointment set, a full presentation. Now, short conversation. Now, full presentation. That is correct. So, Nikki, I will get in touch with you Send me an email at, email me dj@coachcarroll.com, and we'll set up a free 30-minute Skype for you guys, and I'll work on your business for you.
Inland Pro Wash said, I read your book and became addicted to cold calls, and I cannot tell you enough how much everything I read works. In 1 week, I picked up 3 new accounts.
See? Inland Pro Wash, 3 new accounts. And that was just by reading a book. Look, he got addicted off of reading a book. That's freaking awesome. Now he's going to be like, man, you're going to have to go check yourself into rehab. Hey, guess what? I'm addicted to success, and there's no rehab for the successful, baby. Love it. Hey, guys, go check it out. $87, coachcarroll.com/deal. Tweet me your biggest takeaway from today. I want to know what you guys got. What'd you get out of it? #CC webinar, #Coach Carroll, @DJ_. Someone's going to win another free one-on-one. I want to know, what was your biggest takeaway from today? I appreciate you guys. Make sure you go out, check it out, coachcarroll.com/deal. It is the deal of the century. And who was that? Inland Pro Wash? Inland Pro Wash, you better be signed up for that, man, because if you thought the book was good, that was free. And you thought this webinar was good, that was free. Imagine what you're going to get when you stop being cheap and swipe the credit card, man. I don't know. We'll have to go back through. I'm just going to randomly pick somebody. So Nikki's tried this clean house. She's trying to win everything, ain't she? She's been tweeting. She's going to win our most tweeted award. So, hey, guys, I appreciate you. Make sure you share it on Facebook. Go out there, tell your friends about it. Make sure you're following me on all the social media on Periscope. I appreciate you guys stopping in tonight. I love you guys. I do this for you. It's my passion. Easy Pro is my day job. This is what I'll stay up till 9 o'clock at night doing, almost going hoarse. But I appreciate you. Thanks to everybody for stopping on tonight. And remember, go out there and get it.